Government has announced it will begin a consultation in the new year on plans for a high-speed rail link through the Midlands. Protesters gathered outside the Conservative Party conference in Birmingham as Transport Secretary Philip Hammonds made the announcement. The line would cut the journey time between Birmingham and London to under an hour, but campaigners say those living along the route are being ignored.
Philip Hammonds has admitted that the communities in between the two stations, and that's a huge swathe of the British countryside, will not receive any economic benefits.
Why on earth are we digging holes in our countryside, digging up our environment, ruining rural communities when we've got existing tracking lines? Let's, for heaven's sake, look at the existing lines and see what can be done to improve those lines to increase capacity.
Welcome to Midlands Today from the Conservative Party conference at the ICC in Birmingham. The headlines tonight. As the Conservative Party arrives in Birmingham, will the city be run by a directly elected mayor in future?
It's a huge advantage to having a strategic authority in City Hall that can look at all the issues that maybe local councils can't concentrate on.
Despite angry demonstrations, the Prime Minister says he's determined the high-speed 2 rail link must happen.
Whether it is motorways or high-speed railways or channel tunnels, these can bring huge economic benefits to the regions of Britain.
A lot of the talk around here is about spending cuts and which services might be hit. One huge investment is going ahead. Delegates here were assured today that the high-speed rail link from London will go ahead. That didn't please protesters against high-speed 2, who were hoping to make their point to delegates arriving at the conference.
I am a member of the Tory party, but I have not gone into the conference because I've chosen to be outside here raising awareness of this £33 billion project that they wish to push through on a fundamentally flawed business and environmental case. It is an absolute waste of taxpayers' money. They are promising economic benefits they simply cannot prove.
Well, David Cameron, though, insists that the investment in high-speed rail is the right thing and it will provide a huge boost to the regional economy.
I think it's important, as we make difficult decisions about spending public money, that we do try and keep going with capital expenditure that will actually make our economy more productive for the very long term. And if you go back over history and you look at the big transport decisions, whether it is motorways or high-speed railways or channel tunnels, these can bring huge economic benefits to the regions of Britain. That's what I want from high-speed rail.
They would say to their environment and to their quality of life.
Well, they do cost money, and there are environmental consequences, but actually getting people off the roads and onto fast railways is good for our environment, and I think this is a possibly transformative project for Britain that will bring Birmingham, Manchester, London closer together, and I think really drive our economy into the decades beyond.
So, billions for high-speed rail, but no money to rebuild schools in towns including West Bromwich, which make up the borough of Sandwell. There was bitter disappointment there when in the first weeks of the coalition government, pledges to rebuild dilapidated schools were being withdrawn.
Yes, well, we're up to our necks in debt in England through somebody's fault.
Heckled in Warwickshire, heckled in Staffordshire.
It's not in your backyard.
In these counties, it's going to be hard to sell the concept of a rail line, which damages countryside and doesn't have any local stops. As the government fights to save money, the Transport Secretary is now being accused of wasting it.
What a waste of money! It is a white elephant, and at this point in time, when we are facing cuts to hospitals, cuts to schools, cuts to the army, cuts to police, cuts to fire stations, even playgrounds aren't getting built, but David Cameron still wants his train set.
The protesters were at Coleshill and Lichfield today to confront Philip Hammonds over the proposed lines from London to Birmingham, Manchester and the East Midlands. More and more towns and villages in the Midlands are joining the protests over the high-speed lines. Many people say they didn't realise the sheer scale of this project until discovering the plans on the internet. Some Tory MPs are now worried that their constituents are becoming very angry.
Waterorton, Gilson, Coleshill and Middleton are going to be very, very badly affected, and I want to make sure that if this does go ahead, that we're able to do everything we can to mitigate the impact on local people.
It looks like the changes you're making are tweaks, really, and there's a lot of anger. Do you think quite a few Tory MPs could lose their seats in the next election?
No, I don't think so. I think that people will take I hope people will take a much broader view about this. It's a piece of nationally important infrastructure.
Because we have to.
For the government, this new railway will be no easy ride. Keith Wilkinson, Central Tonight.
In order to give us